we only serve God when we serve people. There is no service to God without service to man. There is no service to God without serving man. That is very important. Now, can you imagine what our own idea of service is? Most of us believe that we serve God only when we go to the mass, if you are a Catholic, or when you go to the service, when you go to church, if you are a Protestant. We go to church every Sunday to serve God. Well, I'm not sure about that. And some of us who are really very enthusiastic and very religious and very pious and very righteous and very holy and really very passionate about our faith, most of us try to serve in the church. Some of us serve as ushers, some of us serve as choir members, some of us serve as children workers, and we try to do our best. But really, the best kind of service that God will accept from every one of us is when we serve people. You know, all of us, we want to serve the God that we don't see, the God that is so far, the God that is so, abstract. You know, so we like this idea of serving God abstractly. Oh, I'm serving God, I serve God, I know God. What do you do? Well, I go to church. Well, I try to do something in my church. Some people actually equate serving God with money. Well, I give some money to people. I give money to church. That's my service. Well, you cannot really serve God that you don't see if you don't pay attention to people that you see. Now, let's look at the scripture. Do you remember the situation when Jesus Christ actually washed the feet of his disciples? What do you think he was doing? What do you think the lesson was? Because I actually know there are some denominations right now all over the world that is what they do. They actually physically try to wash the feet of their members, and they wash each other's feet. Nothing bad about that. If you like it, let's go ahead and do it. But the real lesson that Jesus is trying to teach us in that story is that it is about people. Even though Jesus himself is the Son of God, not just the Son of God, Jesus is God all by himself. And despite that, he will not bypass people. And some people think, no, Jesus, you are too important to pay attention to ordinary people like us. You are too important to begin to serve us and wash our feet. Jesus didn't think that way, because if they are people, according to Jesus, these people are made in the image of God. And these people carry God's likeness. And whatever he's doing for them, he's actually doing for God. So by Jesus washing the feet of his disciples, he was actually washing the feet of God. Because God is in every person. The nature of God is in every man. So by Jesus showing us that example, that each time we sacrifice ourselves, our time, our resources, our energy to serve man, that we are actually serving God in heaven. For you to serve God, for you to really prove to God and impress God that you are serious about serving him, you need to begin to pay attention to ordinary people, humans, and begin to extend your service to them. It is when you serve people that you convince God truly that you want to serve him. It is only when you pay attention to people, when you begin to serve them with your gifts, with your talents, with your resources, with your time, when you begin to give your love to ordinary people, that is when you convince God that, God, I'm not doing this just for you to be able to bless me, or for you to be able to give me something, or for you to be able to show me for me to show you how good I am. I'm doing this because I love you. And if I love you, I love your creation. If I love you, I love your people. And I am ready to do anything for your people just to prove my love for you. And when you can prove your love for God, not by doing something directly to God, because you don't see God, he doesn't complain about anything against you. He cannot, you don't feel guilty. But when people who offend you from day to day, people who don't treat you well, when people who don't give you anything, who cannot contribute to your life, when people who maybe even have done bad things to you, when you begin to consider them, and because of the love of God, you begin to go out of your way to serve them, to do something good to them, to be kind to them, that is when you really prove to God, and God is convinced that, yeah, this person is really serious. If you love God for real, you will love people. There is no way you will love God that you will not love people. It's just not possible. When you love God for real, you will recognize God in people. You will feel the compassion of God for people. You will have the heart of God. So if you are a believer, I want to challenge you that your belief is not just your vertical relationship between you and God. Your faith in God has to be also horizontal, and that has to be in how you relate to people in your life or around you.